So I've been analyzing horror movies to find the ones where you have a 100% survival rate. And I found 10 where the monsters are so stupid that your biggest danger is probably choking on popcorn while you're watching the movie. The last one reveals the universal rule that makes every horror movie survivable. So let's start with what might be the most survivable horror movie ever made. The Lift is about a Dutch elevator that gets possessed or whatever and starts killing people in an office building. And the solution to this supernatural death machine is so obvious that I'm pretty sure a toddler could figure it out faster than these adults in this movie. The elevator literally decapitates a guy, just straight up takes his head clean off. And instead of thinking, maybe I should use those stairs right next to this murder machine, the next person walks up and presses the button like they're ordering a latte. It's like watching someone step on a rake, see another person step on the same rake, and then deciding that rake looks like a fun time. Now look, I get it, stairs are hard. They require what scientists call moving your legs up and down. But we're talking about choosing between mild cardio and getting turned into a human sandwich by an elevator. And these people consistently choose death every single time. The thing that kills me is how the movie treats this like it's some sort of unsolvable mystery. There's a whole investigation. People are studying the elevator's electrical systems. They're bringing in experts. Meanwhile, the stairs are just sitting there like, hey bruh, remember us? We're literally right here and we never killed anyone. We ain't do nothing wrong. And the main character is this elevator repair guy who becomes obsessed with figuring out what's wrong with it. Dude, I can tell you what's wrong with it. It's murdering people. The fix is not using it. This is like being a boat mechanic and insisting on taking the Titanic for a test drive after it already sank. But the absolute best part is watching office workers line up to use this thing. And when they finally defeat it at the end, they do it by going into the elevator shaft. You know, the one place you definitely shouldn't go when fighting a killer elevator. It's like defeating a shark by jumping into its mouth. The movie ends with them winning, but honestly, the elevator should get points for style. So basically, yeah, stairs exist, but what happens when your monster weighs less than a house cat? Before that, if you're enjoying this video so far, I want you to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel because 97% of you guys are not subscribed, and it's the only way you can tell YouTube that this video should be pushed out to more people. So let's talk about Child's Play. Here's a movie where the main villain is 2 feet tall, weighs around 5 pounds, and somehow manages to terrorize full-grown adults. And I'm not trying to body shame Chucky here, but this is basically a horror movie about getting beaten up by a Build-A-Bear that went into anger management and failed the class. The whole premise falls around the second you realize that any reasonably healthy adult could just punt this right across the room. We're supposed to believe that a plastic doll with the reach of a kindergartner is somehow winning fights against people who tower over him like skyscrapers? Come on, man. But what really gets me is how these people finally act when they figure out the doll is alive. Instead of thinking, oh, this tiny thing is mobile now, guess I should contain it, they run. They actually run away from something that can't even reach the doorknob without a step stool. Look, I get that Chucky has a knife sometimes. That's concerning, but he's got the arm span of a toddler and all the intimidation factor of an angry Furby. The logical response isn't screaming and fleeing. It's picking him up by the head and putting him in a drawer or a safe or literally any container he can't open because his hands are the size of Tic Tacs. And every time someone does manage to stop him, they just leave him there. They never think to, dismantle him, or throw him in a wood chipper, or burn him, or mail him to Antarctica. Instead, they knock him down and walk away like they just won a fair fight against an equal opponent. Then he comes back to life and they all act surprised. Dude, it's a possessed doll, not some subscription service you gotta keep dealing with. You can cancel it permanently. But no, they treat him like he's some sort of unstoppable force of nature instead of what he actually is. A talking action figure with main character syndrome. This movie only works because basically everyone agrees to pretend that basic physics or logic don't apply. The moment someone decides to treat this like what it is, a small angry toy, the horror ends and it becomes a very short documentary about a cursed doll. Okay, so tiny dolls are more than manageable, but what if the horror required you volunteering for death? So, Hellraiser. This is a movie where the entire horror hinges on someone finding a mysterious puzzle box and deciding, you know what? This looks like something I should definitely mess with. And I want to be clear here. The demons don't hunt you down. They don't stalk you. You have to actually invite them over by solving their little riddle cube. It's basically Uber, but they kill you instead. They only show up when you call them, and the way you call them is by taking this obviously cursed box that probably smells like sulfur and death and thinking, this seems like a fun evening activity. It's like seeing a door marked danger, rabid bears, and assuming it's just being modest and lying to you. The main guy, Frank, actually knows what this thing does. He's researched it. He bought it specifically to summon pain demons from another dimension. This isn't curiosity. He knows what he's getting into and he still does it. But here's the thing that gets me about you people watching this. You're probably sitting there thinking, well, I would never solve a creepy puzzle box. Really? Because humanity has a pretty solid track record of poking things they shouldn't poke. You see a button that says do not press, and suddenly you develop the finger discipline of a toddler at the candy store. We can try this right now. I will say don't press the like button, and you want to press the like button more than if I say you should press the like button. That makes you want to press the dislike button. Why are humans like this? Even the smart characters in this movie mess up. Christy, who's supposed to be the final girl, finds this blood-covered murder cube, and her first instinct is to start turning the pieces. Not to call the police, not to leave it alone. No, she's like, this mysterious artifact covered in what appears to be human remains definitely needs my attention to it. And when the demon shows up, they're actually pretty honest about the whole arrangement. They explain exactly what they're going to do to you. It's not like they're trying to trick anyone. They're literally giving you their terms and services conditions and you are signing them. The beautiful part is that the same box that summons them can send them away. It's like having a remote control of your own suffering, but instead of using this information to, not solve the box in the first place, people keep treating it like it's a carnival game they need to beat so that they can show off their ego. So, don't play with the game. Not playing with cursed puzzles seems obvious, but some monsters defeat themselves through sheer stupidity. All right, so Troll 2. Now, these are monsters who've somehow managed to create a business model that would make a lemonade stand look like Amazon. These goblins want to eat people, but here's their genius plan. First, they have to turn the people into plants. And to turn people into plants, they need the people to willingly eat their magic food. So their entire murder strategy depends on voluntary customer participation. It's like running a death trap, but only if people sign a waiver first and bring their own shovel. And just to make sure everyone knows something's wrong, they make the food glow green, because nothing says totally safe to eat like food that doubles as a nightlight. But the real masterpiece here is their disguises. These goblins are trying to pass as humans, and they're about as convincing as my dog wearing a mustache. They talk like they learned English from a broken Google Translate. They act like they've never seen humans before, and somehow they thought naming their town Nilbog was subtle. Yes, if you are an intellectual, that is goblin spelled backwards. Their big secret plan has the same level of code sophistication as I did writing keep out on my bedroom door and thinking that no girls would ever show up. Little did I know, in adulthood, they still didn't show up. And here's where it gets beautiful. The way you defeat these monsters is by eating a bologna sandwich. Not a magic bologna sandwich, just regular good old fashioned American processed meat. Hell yeah, brother. We're going to America. We're gonna get some processed meat. It's my God-given right down here in America. Turns out these vegetarian monsters are so committed to their plant-based lifestyle that basic lunch meat is like kryptonite to them. The main goblin literally screams about cholesterol and toxins when the kids eat it. She's having a complete breakdown because someone consumed nitrates in her presence. It's basically if you defeated the worst monster ever with just a bad snack choice. These are creatures who couldn't successfully run a farmer's market, let alone execute a human extinction plan. They're consistently outsmarted by a child, they can't maintain basic disguises, and their magical powers are apparently no match for the American deli section. The whole thing ends when their magic stone gets touched by someone who ate meat, and they all just explode. Their ultimate weakness is contact with anyone who's had a normal human diet. How do you die to this horror movie? So vegetarian goblins with food issues are pathetic. But imagine choosing the worst planet possible to invade. So Signs gives us aliens who decide to invade Earth. Now, that's pretty standard alien behavior, but here's where it gets interesting. These particular aliens have one tiny problem. Water kills them. Not just hurts them, kills them, like instantly. And they choose to invade the planet that's literally nicknamed the Blue Planet because it is mostly water. This is the kind of strategic planning that makes you wonder if these aliens maybe should have sent a scout team first, or at least check Google Earth. It's like being deadly allergic to oxygen and deciding to vacation on a planet with an atmosphere. The level of research failure here is actually impressive in how stupid it is. And it's not like water is hard to find on Earth. We literally pipe it into every building. It falls from the sky on a regular schedule. We swim in it for fun. The average suburban house has more ways to access water than most aliens have ways to kill humans. These creatures showed up to a fight where their biggest weakness is available at every corner store for like less than $1. But what really gets me is that these supposed advanced space travelers can't figure out basic doorknobs. They can travel between stars, but a simple twist handle is apparently beyond their engineering capabilities. It's literally like watching a brain surgeon struggle to open a pickle jar. The moment humans figure out the water thing, the invasion is basically over. Mel Gibson grabs a baseball bat and starts smashing water glasses. And suddenly he's winning fights against creatures that supposedly conquered interstellar travel. And then they just leave. The whole species apparently decides that Earth is too much trouble and goes home, which honestly makes sense. If you're allergic to the most common substance on a planet, maybe that planet isn't for you. It's like a lactose intolerant person trying to colonize Wisconsin. Bruh, they got a lot of cows. The whole thing ends with one alien getting taken out by a little girl's leftover drinking water. Not holy water, not some special alien killing formula, just regular tap water that she didn't finish. The most advanced threat humanity has ever faced gets defeated by basic hydration. Okay, so water allergies are strategically embarrassing, but our next guy gets stomped on by front yard weeds. Okay, so the Leprechaun. This is a supernatural creature who's been around for centuries, has magical powers, and can kill people in creative ways. But he has two very specific problems that make him about as threatening as like a really angry customer service representative. First problem, four-leaf clovers are basically his kryptonite. Now, four-leaf clovers aren't exactly rare. They're uncommon, sure, but we're not talking about unicorn horns here. You can literally just walk around your yard until you find one, or buy them online, or get a fake one. The movie doesn't specify that it has to be real. It's like having a weakness to something that you can order on Amazon with 2-day shipping. But here's where it gets really good. This ancient magical being has an uncontrollable compulsion to shine shoes. Not sometimes, but every time he sees a dirty shoe, he has to stop whatever he's doing and clean them. You could be running for your life, and if you throw a muddy boot at him, he'll just stop chasing you to make it sparkle. This isn't just a minor character quirk either. It's a full-blown supernatural OCD that completely overrides his murderous instincts. You don't need holy water or silver bullets. You need a pair of work boots and maybe some gardening shoes. And then there's this whole gold situation. This guy is so obsessed with getting his coins back that he'll walk into the most obvious traps. You could probably catch him with a cardboard box propped up with a stick as long as you put one of his coins under it. He has the pattern recognition skills as I did when I was 4 years old. The beautiful thing is that these aren't secret weaknesses that require ancient knowledge to discover. The four-leaf clover thing is literally just basic folklore that every kid learns, and the shoe shining compulsion becomes obvious the first time you see him do it. And once you know the rules, dealing with the Leprechaun becomes less survive a horror movie and more of a manage a very short annoyance. Keep some clovers handy, carry dirty shoes for emergencies, and don't steal his stuff in the first place. It's not exactly advanced tactical planning. Also, he's ugly as hell, and so that's another way he's losing. Getting defeated by lawn weeds is humiliating, but imagine forgetting machines need gas to run. So, Maximum Overdrive, Stephen King's directorial masterpiece about machines that come to life and decide to kill everyone. Basically, it's Cars if it was a horror movie. Now, this sounds pretty scary until you realize these mechanical masterminds forgot one tiny detail about being machines. They need fuel to keep running. It's like planning a road trip and forgetting that cars don't just run on enthusiasm about it. The best part is watching these supposedly intelligent machines hold humans hostage to pump gas for them. Think about this for a second. These trucks became sentient and their first priority was hiring humans to do basic gas pumping. But then here's where the whole plan falls apart faster than a gas station hot dog I got from an Arby's. Machines burn through fuel pretty quickly when they're driving around all day trying to kill people. It's not exactly fuel efficient behavior. And unlike humans, they can't just switch to walking when the tank runs dry. This is before Teslas were even invented, so don't even give me that crap. So the survival strategy here is basically the same as dealing with your nephew's remote control car. Just wait for the battery to die, the little kid starts screaming his fucking head off, and then you punt him like a football. These machines are essentially very large, very angry toys that forgot to plan for recharging. You don't even need to fight them. You just need to not get killed for like 6 hours while they burn through their gas. And they can't exactly sneak up to a gas station themselves. A semi-truck can't just casually roll up to a pump without someone noticing. It's not like they can put on a fake mustache and pretend to be a regular customer. They need human cooperation, which kind of defeats the whole machines versus humans thing. The logical response to this situation is staying away from places with fuel and waiting it out. Find somewhere without gas stations nearby and just hang out. Bring some snacks, maybe catch up on that book you wanted to watch. By the time you finish that book, half these machines will be sitting on the side of the road with their hazard lights on. It's like being threatened by a very angry electric car in a power outage. Sure, it might seem scary at first, but physics is not on their side. These machines manage to achieve consciousness and immediately discover they're completely dependent on the creatures they're trying to kill. Why? Why would you do that? So we've learned that evil machines with gas gauges might be manageable, but our next movie redefines what we even consider as threatening. So, The Sixth Sense. This is the movie where the big scary monsters are people who need customer service. What do I mean? Well, these ghosts aren't trying to kill anyone. They're not evil. They're basically just really persistent customers who have complaints they need to file, but they don't know how to use the proper channels. The whole horror angle falls apart when you realize these are just dead people with unfinished business who need help resolving their issues. And once Cole figures out that these aren't monsters trying to hurt him, the whole situation becomes manageable. It's basic human reasoning. Listen to their problem, help them resolve it, and they go away satisfied. The kid basically becomes a supernatural tech support representative for people having afterlife difficulties. Take the poison girl. She doesn't want to hurt anyone. She just wants justice for what happened to her and to protect her sister from the same fate. So she shows Cole the evidence, he delivers it to the right people, case closed. It's literally as simple as helping someone reset their password. Even Malcolm, the main adult character, is just another confused ghost who doesn't realize he's dead. He's not haunting anyone on purpose. He just needs someone to help him understand his situation so he can move on. The beautiful thing is that helping them actually makes Cole's life better. These ghosts then refer their friends to Cole, and then word gets around in the ghost community that the kid provides excellent service on helping people resolve their problems. So the survival strategy here isn't running or fighting. It's developing basic empathy skills and maybe some light investigative abilities. You're not battling monsters, you're providing grief counseling and assistance to people who are having the worst day of their death. But on second thought, it seems like empathy is a rare skill these days, so maybe this is a very hard movie to survive. Honestly, these movies kind of sweet once you get past the initial shock value. These are just people who just need help moving on, and they're not going to stop asking until someone actually listens to them and takes their concerns seriously. So, helpful ghosts are sweet, but nothing prepared me for a monster that's literally just road equipment. Alright, Rubber. This is a movie. This is one of the movies of all time. This movie asks the important question, what if a tire gained psychic powers and decided to kill people? And the answer turns out to be, well, just like my last marriage, it would be really bad at it. We're talking about a villain whose main method of transportation is rolling, which already puts it at a significant tactical disadvantage. Now, Robert, the tire, because of course they named the tire Robert, he can make things explode with his mind, which sounds scary until you remember he's a fucking tire. He can't climb stairs, he can't open doors, he gets stuck on rocks. It's like giving superpowers to something that was specifically designed to only work on flat paved surfaces. The movie wants you to believe this tire is a serious threat, but let's think about this logically. What defeats regular tires? Sharp objects, heavy things falling on them, getting run over by bigger tires. None of these solutions require advanced technology or special training. You literally just need to treat it like what it is, a piece of car equipment that's in the wrong place. And when the sheriff finally decides to solve the problem, he just shoots it with a regular gun. That's it, problem solved. The tire doesn't have magical armor or special defenses. It's made of rubber and air, like every other tire that's ever existed. Turns out that psychic powers don't actually make you bulletproof if you're still just a fucking tire. But hold up, I know now the tire does come back as a tricycle, which honestly makes the whole situation even more manageable. You've gone from something that could at least roll at highway speed to something that maxes out at whatever speed a tricycle can go. The movie ends with an army of tires rolling towards Hollywood, which sounds scary until you remember that LA has some of the worst traffic in the world. These tires are basically volunteering to sit in gridlock for hours. Honestly, if I was a tire in that situation, I would just blow up myself. The survival strategy here is basically the same as dealing with any other defective auto part. Remove it and dispose of it. You wouldn't let a broken muffler threaten your family, and you shouldn't let a psychotic tire either. And if any of you watching somehow justify that the tire is deadly, you're the person that dies from a tire. I can't help you. Nothing can help you. You're a lost cause. I'm sorry. So yeah, a murderous tire is peak absurdity, but our final movie has the ultimate survival rule. So, A Quiet Place gives us monsters that hunt by sound, and the survival strategy is exactly what you would expect. Don't make noise. This is basically the easiest survival rule created, and still it is too complicated for some people. Now, the Abbott family has figured this out and created a whole lifestyle around being quiet. They use sign language, they've laid out sand paths, they eat with their hands. They're the one family in a horror movie that actually follows the rules. Revolutionary concept, I know. And here's the thing, these monsters aren't actually that tough once you understand their weakness. They're basically blind and rely completely on hearing, so their strength is also their weakness. The family's daughter accidentally discovers that her hearing aid creates a feedback frequency that basically shorts out these creatures. Suddenly, they're not scary monsters, they're just things with really sensitive hearing that can't handle audio feedback. Once they're writhing in pain from the sound, you can just shoot them with regular guns. These supposedly unstoppable alien hunters get taken down by what amounts to really loud static and some basic firearms. They went from apex predators to pest control problems in about 30 seconds after learning this. The movie ends with the family realizing they can fight back now that they know the trick. They've eventually figured out the cheat code for these monsters. It's still dangerous, but it's manageable if you follow the rules and know how to exploit their weaknesses. And that's the thing about A Quiet Place. It's actually one of the more survivable horror scenarios once you know what you're dealing with. The rules are clear, the weakness is exploitable, and being safe is very straightforward. You just have to treat it like it's the most serious thing on earth. Because here's what I realized going through all of these movies and researching this video. The universal survival rule isn't about any specific strategy. It's simpler than that. Every monster has rules, and once you know the rules, you can beat them. Every single one of these threats, from the elevator who can't leave its building to the alien who forgot to check if the water was deadly, they all operate under specific limitations. The moment you stop panicking and start paying attention to patterns, you go from a victim to a victor. And there you have it, 10 horror movie monsters you could easily survive. You think you couldn't survive any of these? Let me know down in the comments below and let me know other movies you want me to cover. And then make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. And if you like this video, you should watch the video on screen now because it's even better than this one.